What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Trucker Style Shawn YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 keys to being a successful owner-operator and trucking company owner. Now, this might be different than a lot of people's. It might be the same as some people, but you're going to have to hear them to find out. I'm back. Alright, let's get it started. Now, this number one is a pretty controversial topic. Now, my number one key to being a successful owner-operator, picking the right truck. Now, a lot of people have different positions on this. Y'all know mine. I buy older trucks, I'll rehab them, get them running right, driving right. That's what I feel comfortable doing. Some people that might be buying a brand new truck or leasing one. That's up to y'all, but you gotta pick the right truck to be successful. Meaning, you have to research that truck. You gotta research the engine. You got to know all the aspects about it. Meaning the engine specs. What are you doing? What are you planning to haul? I know things change, but are you going to buy a, say, stretched frame Peterbilt to go out and run LTL? No. Are you going to buy a short single axle day cab to run over the road? No, you won't. You got to know the truck. You got to know what kind of truck you're looking for. You're going to be doing over the road. You're going to want something with a little bit of space, depending on how long you plan on being out. Now, if you're going to go out and just be out for like a night, maybe two during the week, and then you'll be home, you don't need as big a sleeper. I mean, it's nice to have a bigger sleeper. Hell, this truck, this sleeper's huge, and y'all know me. I'm so used to day cabs. It feels like a dang hotel. But you gotta know the truck. You're gonna be running highways a lot. You need to know your rear end ratios. Horsepower spec. What transmission. You know damn well if you have a automatic restriction on your license, you're not going to go out and buy a manual truck. So you got to know the truck before anything. You got to pick the right truck. Number 2, you have to manage your expenses. What I mean by that, you have your fixed costs. If you have, say, a truck payment, you leased a truck, you didn't buy it outright, you got truck payment right there. That's a fixed expense. You have maintenance. That should be a fixed expense. You can't just be going off the hip on everything. You have your insurance, your permits, all of which you know you're going to have to pay every month. So you have to factor that in. Now there are some other unexpected things that may come up, and like sometimes you're going to have to pay for a shower. If you don't fuel at the big fancy corporate truck stops, you fuel at mom and pop places, sometimes you're going to have to pay for a shower. Internet. Unless you use the hotspot on your phone, sometimes you'll have to pay for internet. Clothes. So you might get cold, you need to buy a jacket. Those are all things that you need to basically budget for. You got to remember, everything you make on that truck isn't yours to spend. Taxes, that's a very big one. You don't know how many owner-operators, fleet owners, or anything, they'll have a great year. They'll spend so much money, you can't afford to pay their taxes. That's a big red flag, you guys. Woo. That is a pretty FLD pulling in. Anyway, you're going to have fixed expenses and you're going to have unexpected expenses. You have to be able to budget for that. recommend paying yourself a flat rate every week, and until you've hit that number where you feel that you can afford to start paying yourself more, just pay yourself that flat rate. Mine starting off was $1,500 a week. That might sound like a lot to some. This might sound like not very much for others. So sorry about that. Somebody called in. But that might not sound like a lot for others, but at the same time, you need to know how much you're going to make. Make sure you can afford all your house bills, but focus on growing your company. Making sure that if you have a catastrophic breakdown or if a life-changing event happens, you can afford to take that time off. You won't be stuck and having to be out in the truck when your family needs you or your friends need you or little things like that. Or say if you just want to take a vacation. If you've blown all your money while you're out there on the road doing stupid things, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. Brings us to number 3. Know your lanes, manage your expectations, and know rates aren't going to be high year round. You have to know the seasons. You have to know when you got to run harder or when you can basically just set more money aside because it's about to slow down. Now, this all depends on what kind of freight you are hauling, whether it be dry van, flatbed, reefer, step deck, lowboy, heavy haul. It all depends. But you have to know that industry well enough to be able to judge when you can slack off a little bit or when you have to pull ahead. Now, a lot of people, they make the mistake of actually my friend, for example, man didn't have a pot to piss in, starts running, he's running here a good 3-4 weeks, and all of a sudden I start seeing a lot of changes to his truck. All of a sudden I'm seeing like 10-inch stacks, chrome bumper, chrome visor, a lot of lights. Yeah, that's all pretty. That's all nice. Because he was running during peak season. Then season slowed up a little bit, and instead of running 6 days a week, he was running 4 days a week. He made a mistake. He went out, he financed a brand new car, and basically didn't budget for his life. So he should have known season was about to slow. When you're up high, don't waste your money. Granted, he was still making a profit, but because he couldn't manage his finances, he wasn't making enough. When in all reality, he really should have. But he wasted that extra money instead of to make it through the slow season and still be perfect. He wasted it. Got a pretty truck though, but I ended up having to find him some extra runs just to appease him. You gotta know your lanes. Number 4, have good relationships. Now, I don't just mean with your significant other. You have to have good relationships. If you're dealing with a broker, you gotta have a good relationship with that broker. If you're dealing with direct customers, you want to have a very good relationship with them, because if something else pops up or when it comes time to renew that contract, who do you want to be the first one they think of? You. You have to keep good Or do you want to run hard, and when it comes time to get your second truck, you want them to basically fight for you and get you the best deal possible? You have to keep good relationships. If you have drivers, you can't treat them like crap and expect to keep drivers. You got to treat them right. You got to pay them right. That's a big one right there. You got to pay them right. And back to with direct shippers. You don't know how many times I've seen people lost contracts. Not because they weren't doing the job, but simply because they didn't have a relationship with that shipper. They didn't know what the person's name when they were calling. They just had a company name. I want that shipper, the one who's giving me the contract, to know me by my first and last name. Where if you see them out on the town, they'd be like, hey, how's it going, man? And say your name. I don't want to be over there and be like, oh, that's Shawn from, or that's that guy from X and X company. You want to be like, hey, how's it going, Shawn? You want them to remember you in a good way. Keep good relationships. A good relationship with a shipper will save you more than you will even know. Say you have a driver that's running late, or you have a trailer that blows a tire or something, and you're a little bit late on that pickup. You can call ahead, let them know what's going on, and explain your situations. If you got a good relationship with that person, do you think they're gonna hassle you really hard? Or will they be like, oh, okay, y'all are always on time, you're always relaying when something's happening, and keeping them in the loop opposed to just showing up late? If you have a good relationship with that person, they will treat you so much better. And financially, it will definitely show it, because you will keep that contract a lot longer. Alright, this brings us to number 5. Now, this might hurt some people's feelings, but I'm going to tell y'all how it is. Don't let being an owner-operator or a company owner go to your head. What I mean by this, say you're at a truck stop. Truck's looking all nice, real pretty. You got that company driver, he's parked next to you. Like this JB Hunt guy right next to me. You are no better than they are. Plain and simple. The fact is, you treat all drivers with respect. We are all out here to do a job. And we are all capable of doing it properly. Just because you own your truck does not mean you are better than the other guy. Like I said, a lot of people might get mad at that one. But still, I believe in the old way of trucking. I've stated this many times before. We should be out here to help our fellow people. Now, some of y'all might comment about one of my previous videos last week about not helping that guy back in. I'm going to reiterate one more time. He was bobtail. Ain't nobody should have to help somebody back that damn truck in bobtail. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, if he had a trailer, I might. If he was struggling hard enough, I might. Granted, you do have to check with your insurance provider. Now, I will tell you this from firsthand experience. If you are helping somebody back in, and if they hit something, that company that got hit can legally sue you. By helping them back in, you are, hold on, let me try and remember how the lawyer put this. You are basically verbally accepting the fact that you are, sorry about that, I had to contact somebody just so I could get the right verbal acknowledgement about this. This was by helping somebody else back in. You are, if you say, hey, I will spot you, you are verbally, and even if you get out and just wave them on, you are physically taking the liability into your own hands. So, if that person hits something, even though they're the one driving that truck, you do not work in the same company, you can legally be held liable if they hit someone else. Now just remember that. It is a crazy world we live in nowadays. These are the things we have to deal with. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Now if you could, if you made it this far, leave down in the comment section, trucking family. That's how we should all treat each other. We're all doing the same job. We just want to see the freight get moved, keep America moving, keep America great. Stop putting your fellow drivers down. It don't matter if they own the truck. It don't matter if you own the truck. We're all doing the same job. Everybody's making around the same sacrifices to be out here.